And we talked to David Chilembe, Deputy Commissioner of Operations at Border Management Authority, for more on this. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So just tell us a little bit more about the lead up to this operation on the 11th of November, where the BMA was able to intercept the state property.
Good evening, Tapiso. My name is David Chilembe. I'm the Deputy Commissioner responsible for operations under the new entity BMA. On the 11th, yesterday, our border guards that are stationed at Kosi Bay border post intercepted a bakkie registered in South Africa, but driven by two Mozambican nationals that was going through the port, which was carrying street lights that were stolen. Or we can say, yes, stolen, because they are from the Ethekwini Municipality. So during their routine search as at the access control area, they then found those lights that were hidden in the bakkie that was en route to Mozambique. When they were further investigating, they found that those lights or those street lights were stolen in Ethekwini, and then they contacted the Ethekwini Municipality and the Hawks who were in that area at the time, and it was confirmed that these lights were stolen. And the two people were arrested, and the vehicle was also confiscated and placed under the Emanguzi police station.
Has there been any intelligence rendered on how these two were able to steal 52 street lights, municipal lights? I'm just trying to imagine if this is something that took place over time in order to avoid detection, or was there laxity in terms of security?
Yeah, in terms of our strategy, we are looking at coming up with intelligence on all issues that goes through our ports. However, this incident, it was something that our colleagues, the border guards, when they were doing their routine search, they then realized that there's something that has been hidden in the bakkie, and then they directed it to the search area where it was offloaded, and then they came about these lights that were in that vehicle.
I believe upon discovery, the BMA immediately activated the Hawks and Durban Metro Police. Is this a cooperation that is already in place, and how exactly is it executed?
The Border Management Act compels us to work with the other role players. So there's what we call an implementation protocol that has been signed between the BMA, the SABC, SARS, and the defense, whereby we are collaborating in whatever work that we do. However, anything that we do that is concerned to be crime, when we have find it out, we then hand it over to the SABC, because they are the ones who must be able to take the case to court, and our officials then becomes the witnesses in terms of the arrests that have been made. So that is the procedure that we are following.
A little bit more information on that. I believe these two Mozambican nationals were arrested and charged with the Criminal Amendment Act, unlawful and intentional tampering, as well as damaging of essential infrastructure. What do these charges carry in terms of potential time behind bars, or is there an option of a fine? And also what goes on into their record, because one is trying to find out if they were in the country legally or illegally.
Yeah, we have gone through all those processes. The arrested people were legal in the country because they had their passports. However, when we were further interviewing them, we found that this is not the first time that they've been doing this action, because the driver indicated that this equipment that doesn't belong to him but they were sent to transport it across the border. And also the vehicle doesn't belong to them, but it belongs to a South African who's registered to be staying in Stenga in KZN. So the Hawks and the police will continue looking at all other issues that relates to what we have found. So they'll then check whether the vehicle is stolen or not, or the owner of the vehicle knows about the illegal activity that has happened. So all those issues will be investigated thoroughly by the Hawks, because even the amount, because those equipment amounts to almost 2 million, and also it's an equipment that is part of the municipality, so they are taking it in that regard.
And just in terms of the kind of operations that BMA Border Guards are on the lookout for, you say they're the first line of defense, working around the clock to enforce immigration laws and maintaining the integrity of our nation, but that also includes the high volume of traffic that we've seen of stolen cars between South Africa and Mozambique. Are you able to share a little bit more details about some of the operations that you are also on the lookout for?
Yeah, the BMA, there's a Section 5 that gives us the mandate to operate in that space. We are responsible for the legitimate movement of people and goods, which also includes the collaboration with other stakeholders in that area. And our law enforcement border guards work in the declared port of entry and also in the vulnerable segments of the borderline. So there are various areas that we identify to be the vulnerable segments, whereby people are using it to cross over to South Africa or to our neighboring countries. Then the border guards are then deployed in those areas to control that movement, either to stop people from coming in the vulnerable segments, or those that have to illegally try to enter the country. But in the port of entry itself, like a Kosi Bay, it's a commercial port where commercial goods are allowed to go in and out of the country. We work with the other government departments that are there, like your customs, whereby the process flow allows that people who are leaving the country or who are importing or exporting, they start from customs, then they go to our border guards immigration function, and then our law enforcement border guards then check whether the processes has been, the person who's crossing has gone through all those processes.
Just finally,
our border guards.
Mr. Chilembe, just finally, because we are running out of time, the trafficking of persons, that is something that has been reported as being on trend, increasing trend. How large is this problem at this particular border?
Yeah, not really high, but there's a high number of people who tries to cross the border illegally. In fact, during the day when we encountered this, there was a Malawian citizen who was traveling with 2 children that we also dealt with on the same day. So trafficking also, it happens, but I can't say it's happened in a large number in that specific port. It happened, in other areas like your Bait Bridge or Libombo, that's where it is a bit high. But at Kosi Bay, it hasn't been high, but there are incidences of trafficking that are happening there.
All right, thank you so much for speaking to us, David Chilembe, who is the BMA Deputy Commissioner.